This is Totally Disgusted with your host, Derek Andre. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Totally Disgusted. I'm your host, Derek Andre. And if this is your first time to the channel, let me just say this, y'all. Let me just say this because I believe in transparency. I just did this whole entire episode and my camera was not on. All right. I got the audio from it, but I did not get any video. So this is actually take 2 of the topic that we're going to address in this episode of Totally Disgusted. Oh my God, y'all. I got so many things on my mind, man. My stress levels are through the roof, y'all. I got a lot going on, okay? All right, but anyway, back to this episode of Totally Disgusted. All right. So, first of all, if you're new to the channel, please, by all means, click that subscribe button. And once you've clicked the subscribe button, click the reminder bell so you never have to miss another video. If you like the video, give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment, and most importantly, share. I'm trying to get YouTube to recognize that this is not a dead channel and to actually start recommending my videos to new viewers, current subscribers, and the like. So those actions from you will help YouTube recognize the fact that this video is not a dead video channel. All right, that is not a dead channel. All right, y'all, on this episode of Totally Disgusted today, we're talking about how my marriage survived homelessness. Now, if you know me personally, you know that moving to Georgia was a rough one, man. All right. So for those of you that don't know, I'm going to start from the beginning and give you basically a Cliff Notes version of how we ended up homeless and how our marriage survived it. All right. So it was 2018. My wife and family, we decided to leave Mississippi and come to Georgia for a better opportunity at growing our businesses. While we were in Mississippi, my wife had a cupcake business and I was doing video production full time. So we decided that because the town that we were in Mississippi, although it was a wonderful place to live, it was not conducive for growth in our businesses. So Atlanta was the closest place and the best place that we thought would work for us. All right. So we moved here in 2018. It was at the end of May. We got here, man, got the truck unloaded. And about 2 weeks later, we had plans to go to my wife's family reunion. It was in Galveston, Texas. And so we did. We went to the family reunion, man. We had a great time. It was at this resort. I can't think of the name of the resort right now, but it was amazing. We had a wonderful time. Now, prior to us leaving Mississippi, I had set up a couple of things in Georgia, and 3 in Mississippi, 1 in Georgia. The first thing that I set up here was a job with a classic car company. I was going to do like documentary videos for some of the cars that came in, and it was a paid job. I was like, cool. Before I left Mississippi, I had set up 3 gigs for my video production company. I had 2 music videos and 1 video for a business, which I will not name. Cool. That was about $10,000-$12,000 worth of work. I'm like, straight. That's just with the 3 gigs I had, all right? The job was cool. It was going to pay me a reasonable salary. I was like, all right, bet. So we go on vacation, have a great time in Galveston, get back. The week we come back, I start receiving emails. Oh, hey, Derek, we're going to have to cancel the music video due to funding. Oh, hey, Derek, yeah, we're not going to do the music video. This is the second video. We're not going to do that. The business. Oh, hey, Derek, listen, we decided at the last minute we're going to go with someone else. And I'm like, yo. And then the last thing that I had left was the job. And they dissolved that position. So here we are in a new state. Money was already tight, which is why we left Mississippi. and come back, and now all the things I had lined up don't exist anymore. What do we do? So my wife was able to find a job through a temp service. We only had one car, so she was able to find a job through the temp service. So while she was at work during the day, I was out with flyers and I'm trying to hustle the video production business. I'm going to different excuse me, I got to sneeze, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm going to different businesses. It went away. I'm going to different businesses, talking to people, man. I'm all on what's the name of the patch? Alpharetta Patch. I'm all on Atlanta Patch. I'm all on all these different websites. I'm on Craigslist. I'm posting stuff. Man, I am getting absolutely no response from anyone. And time is ticking away. Now, let me tell you how it works in Georgia when your rent ends up being late. They automatically send if you're late, if you go past the 5th or whatever it is, they automatically start doing eviction papers. They start adding late fees, and it goes on and on and on. And they will not allow you to make partial payments. What kind of crap is that? If you have people that are trying to actually make payments on their rent, why would these leasing companies not allow you to make partial payments? So my wife is working. She's got a job. I give up trying to find stuff. So I decide that I'm going to drive for Lyft, which is how I ended up becoming a rideshare driver. And so I applied. I put the app on my phone, did that thing. It's a 2-week process because they got to do background checks and all of this. And all while this is going on, the money is still adding up. They're still adding more fees. They're still adding this because we can't give them any money until we have the entire amount. So I'm out, man. I'm driving, man, and I'm trying to get up in the morning, man. Money is super tight. We lost electricity for a little while. And so as we started to realize that we're not going to be able to catch this up, because if we can't make any payments at all, and I can't make the money fast enough to catch up, we might be in trouble. So what I did was I went and I got a storage unit, okay? In the mornings, y'all, boy, in the mornings, we would get up. This is while we're still in the apartment. We didn't know how the eviction process worked. We didn't know when, and if the sheriff was coming or how it was going to work out. We didn't know. So what we would do every morning, and we did this for weeks, y'all, until the day we got evicted. In the morning, we would get up. We would gather up the things that were most valuable to us. And we would take those things and we would put them in storage. All right. So we had a lot of personal effects in storage. So we would take them in the morning. We would put them in storage. I would get my wife to work, get the girls to school, drive all day. When it was time to pick up everybody, I would come back, get them. We would go back to storage. We would take the stuff back home. And we would sleep the night, get up the next day and do that. We did that for weeks because we didn't want to take the furniture because we were still hopeful that we would be able to get the money up to cash the rent up so that we would not end up getting evicted. Well, long story short, we got evicted. All right. Came home one day and all of our stuff was sitting outside. And I've seen it before. You drive through apartment communities and you see people whose stuff is sitting outside. But to experience it, man, it's dehumanizing, man. It changes you. Losing everything changes you, man. It really does. It makes you just look at life totally differently, man. And I don't know if anybody watching this video, if you've ever been through this, it changes you. You come back and all of your stuff is picked through, your bed and your bedding and, whatever personal items that you did have left. It's all sitting out on the curb, man. And Yeah. So I'm sorry. It's just to go back and think about it is pretty rough. Um, so I had a friend of mine. I say had because he passed away a few years ago, and may he rest in peace. I reached out to him, and he put us in a hotel room for about 3 weeks. He paid for it, which gave me time to build up some money. All right. Now, we stayed in this extended stay for like 11 months, y'all. 11 months in one room. Me, my wife, and my two daughters. My wife and I slept on the sofa bed, and we gave our daughters the regular bed. For 11 months, man, we had to stay in that hotel room. I had to pay by day. I worked. At that time, you could work for Lyft for like 14 hours, and I worked all of those hours. I would get up, I would take the girls to school, I would take my wife to work, and then I would drive, man. And I drove and drove and drove. Then I would get back in just enough time to get them picked up from school and work. And then I go back out and I would drive some more. Sometimes I would just not even come into the hotel room. I would just sleep in the car so that I wouldn't wake them up. And I knew that I was going to end up coming back down and getting right back in the car anyway. A lot of times, man, we didn't have money to buy laundry detergent, so our clothes were dirty. We would have struggles with soap and food. Man, we ate a lot of McChickens and a lot of Little Caesars pizza because the hotel room was costing me upwards of $100 a day, man, sometimes. And when you put that on, and then you couple that with gas prices, because at that time gas was like $4 a gallon or something, and I'm driving a Grand Cherokee with a Hemi in it, you know, it was just rough. Well, anyway, make a long story short, um, this is probably the 11th month. Well, not probably. This was the 11th month. I had already pawned all of my camera equipment, my drones, and all that other stuff. And so I had my laptop. That was the last thing I had left. Because some days you go out there and you do ride share, you make great money. Other days it is super slow no matter how long you stay out there. And I needed to pay for the room. And so I took my laptop to the pawn shop, and I'm standing there, and I guess the lady at the counter could see the stress on my face. And so she asked me what was wrong. And I don't lie when I'm I be needing to get stuff off my chest, and I told her. And so she told us about this organization that helped displaced families. And so we ended up meeting with them. They approved us, and we stayed in that program for 2 years, and we graduated and got back into our own space. All right. So that is the story of how we ended up homeless. The reason that my wife and I were able to stay together through all of that, and I need y'all to listen to this if you're a new couple or if you're an older couple going through some stuff, or if you want to get married. The reason that my wife and I were able to maintain our marriage, because we didn't argue through all of this, y'all. That's not a lie. The reason that we were able to maintain our marriage through all of this is because we realized that it was not us. It was not the things that we were faced with had absolutely nothing to do with us as a couple. And I think a lot of couples don't realize that, and just sheer frustration makes them take out their anger and hostility on each other, which is how they end up in divorce and in some cases in abusive relationships. We had to realize that I didn't do anything wrong for those people to not have the money to pay for these services. I didn't do anything wrong for this job that I came here for to dissolve. That had absolutely nothing to do with me. And once you realize that the person that you're involved with, your spouse, is not the source of your problems. It makes it easier for you to weather those storms. Now, if it had been a case of, I went to work and I got smart with the boss and I got fired, or I was smoking on the job and got fired, or okay, that's another issue. If you're in a relationship and you and your mate, are having problems with, abuse or drug addiction or whatever. Okay, those are character traits that you might have a hard time overcoming. If there's lots of infidelity, there's a lot of reasons that people can get divorced. But sometimes financial reasons can be overcome if it is no fault of your own. And the reason that my wife and I just celebrated 13 years of marriage is because we understood that through all of what we have gone through, that none of it was a Derek and Carrie thing. None of it was a character flaw with one of us or both of us that made us be in these positions. It was life, y'all. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you are financially in life. I don't care. Life gonna come for you. And I'm gonna tell you right now, going through this with my wife helped me to understand exactly who I was married to. Because it's easy. It is easy to be happy when everything is going well. It's easy to maintain your marriage when the money is flowing good. It's easy to maintain your marriage when cars are in the driveway. It's easy to maintain your marriage when the house is big and the yard is manicured. It's easy to maintain your marriage when things are going great. But who are you married to when things are not so great? It's a whole lot of people that find out the hard way that what they thought was all butterflies and rainbows was not. Because let that money run out. Let that car get repossessed. Let those things happen. Let that person go to work, cuss out their boss, and lose their job. Then you'll see who you married to. I know who I'm married to, man. My wife knows who she is married to. Adversity shows you who your spouse is and shows you if you made the right decision or not. That's why you need to take your time and understand who you have gotten yourself involved with. I'm not saying put the relationship through trials. But if all y'all have ever experienced is the good, how do you know what that person is like when life isn't so good? Listen, I don't wish homelessness, strife, and struggle on anyone. What we went through, man, it was harder than anything that I've ever experienced. And we still are going through things. Man, y'all look at this YouTube channel, man. Y'all see these numbers, man. I'm out here trying to make it happen, man. This is who I am. I'm an entertainer. And so I've been at this for over 2 decades. And it's not easy. I don't have any entertainer relatives and aunts and uncles and cousins. I ain't got no. It is me. I'm out here on this island by myself. So it is not an easy task, and it is not easy to be in a marriage and a relationship when someone is trying to build. A lot of times I put my passions and desires on the back burner because I had small children, I'm still trying to get it because my kid's grown now, so I'm still out here trying to get it. So yeah, my money be running tight, man. My car in the shop right now. You know, it's been in the shop for months. I don't have the money to get it, man. I'm out here trying to hustle books and t-shirts. I'm trying to be on other people's podcasts. I'm trying to find ways to do interviews. I'm trying to figure it out. And it's not easy. But I know who I'm married to. And what my wife does is she supports me and she encourages me to keep going. That's why I don't mind being out there for hours on end driving for Lyft. I would spend it to make sure that we do everything we can, that I do everything I can to keep these bills paid. But at the same time, I'm still trying to build my brand, the Derek Andre brand. And I know now for a fact that I have a wife who supports that. Just like I support her when she's building her brands, because she's got things going on right now and I am her biggest cheerleader. Because I know how firmly she stood next to me while we were going through the things that we were going through. That's what you want in a mate, man. That's what you want in a couple. So, how did my marriage last and survive through homelessness? Because my wife and I understood that at the end of the day, that it was not a us problem. It was us that had to go out here and fight the world. We have to fight the rent, the mortgage. We have to fight high grocery prices. We have to fight high gas bills and high utilities. We have to fight those issues together. We cannot allow those issues to create a divide between us. And so if you're watching this, and you're married, newlywed, if you've been married for years, if you're thinking about getting married, make sure, man, that you find somebody who will love you when things are hard, not just while things are good. Because things may not always be good. And you will find out in a very, 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 very despicable way that the person who you thought was down with you ain't down. And you do not want to go through that at all. Because I've been down that path as well. Yes, I have. So I've seen it from both sides of the coin. I've seen it from the supportive side. And I've also seen it from the tear me down side. Because I have been torn down, y'all. Torn down. I have been ridiculed, laughed at, made fun of, cheated on, the whole 9 yards, because life be lifing. So pick your mates wisely. I love my wife, and I will do whatever it takes to make sure that she is happy and well cared for. This has been Totally Disgusted. I'm your host, Derek Andre. And if you're new to the channel, again, please subscribe. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Click that reminder bell. Leave a comment and tell a friend. And that way, maybe YouTube will start showing my work to people on the, start showing my, you know how they do. You know what I'm trying to say. They'd start, what am I trying to say here? They will start, you know what I'm trying to say, putting my work on the homepage, you know. There's a term that I'm trying to think of, but my brain ain't working right now. But anyway, just thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Check out my website, derekandre.com, and pick up yourself a book, a t-shirt, or whatever. There's actually t-shirts below this video as well, too. So thanks again for watching. See you on the next one. Be peace, be love, be one, and I'm out. Thanks for tuning in to Totally Disgusted. Make sure to like, comment, and tell a friend.